Hello, my amazing listeners. Welcome to a story of love, secrets, and surprises. Today, we meet Adana, who never imagined she'd fall for her father's Gateman, a man of quiet strength and unexpected wisdom. Drawn to his humble charm, she falls in love, unaware that he's hiding a truth that could shatter everything or bring them closer than ever. Sit back and get ready, because this is one love story you won't want to miss. Adana, a beautiful, warm-hearted young woman, returns home to Nigeria after completing her studies in the UK. Her father, Chief Okiki, is a successful businessman and a respected figure in the community. The family estate is sprawling, with lavish gardens, luxurious cars, and, as always, a staff of housekeepers, drivers, and security. As she steps out of the car, she notices a new gateman at the entrance. He's tall and well-built, with an air of calmness that doesn't quite match the usual demeanor of the staff. He nods politely and greets her with a warm smile. "Welcome back, madam," he says. "Thank you," Adana replies, observing him a little longer than she intended. Something about him is unusual, but she can't place it. He has a calm confidence, his eyes betraying a spark of intelligence. "What's your name?" she asks, curious. "My name is Emeka," he replies. Before she can say anything more, Ifeoma, her younger sister, calls her name from the doorway, pulling her attention away. Over the next few days, Adana settles back into her routine, reacquainting herself with the household and reconnecting with her family. Ifeoma, her 21-year-old sister, has become even more spoiled in her absence. She's fashionable, constantly hosting friends, and often dismisses the staff with a wave of her hand. One afternoon, Ifeoma throws a small party by the pool. Music blares, and her friends lounge around sipping cocktails. When Emeka, the gateman, comes to deliver some water, Ifeoma doesn't waste the opportunity to show off in front of her friends. "Oh, Emeka, can you fetch my handbag from my room?" she asks dismissively, not even looking up. Emeka pauses. "I'm sorry, miss, but I'm the gateman, not the houseboy." Ifeoma raises an eyebrow. "What difference does it make? Just do what I asked," she snaps, annoyed. Her friends laugh, and Emeka's face hardens, but he maintains his composure. He turns and leaves, and Adana, who has been watching, feels uncomfortable with her sister's behavior. Later, Adana quietly mentions to Ifeoma that she should be more respectful, but Ifeoma dismisses her, saying, "Come on, Ada, they're just staff. Besides, isn't he getting paid for it?" Adana sighs, realizing her sister's attitude won't change easily. Despite Ifeoma's attitude, Adana finds herself curious about Emeka. One evening, while walking in the garden, she hears him speaking on the phone in a low tone. She tries not to eavesdrop, but his words are intriguing. Yes, I'll send the funds to the school," he says. "The children should have everything they need for the new term." Surprised, Adana realizes he's talking about a school. When he finishes the call, she walks over to him, and they strike up a conversation. "I overheard you talking about a school. Are you helping one?" she asks cautiously. Emeka looks slightly embarrassed. It's a small thing, just helping a few children in my village," he says, trying to be humble. "They deserve a chance to learn, you know." Adana is surprised, but touched by his words. Here's a man with so little, yet he's focused on helping others. They talk a bit more, and she realizes that Emeka is remarkably well-read and informed. Their conversation flows easily, and Adana finds herself captivated by his wisdom and kindness. Over the following days, they continue to exchange greetings and small conversations. Adana feels herself drawn to Emeka, and each encounter leaves her curious to know more about him. One evening, Adana decides to go for a drive alone to clear her mind. As she drives, her car unexpectedly breaks down on a quiet road near the estate. She tries to call someone for help, but there's no network signal. Frustrated and a little anxious, she steps out of the car and tries to figure out what might be wrong. Just then, she hears a motorcycle approaching. It's Emeka, who's on his way back to the estate after running an errand. He stops immediately when he sees her car stranded. "Adana, are you okay?" he asks, concern evident in his voice. "I think something's wrong with my car," she says, relief washing over her. Emeka takes a look under the hood, skillfully identifying and fixing the problem. Adana watches him, struck by how capable and calm he is. As they sit on the curb afterward, waiting for the car engine to cool, Emeka opens up about his dreams. "I may not look it, but I have big dreams," he says with a chuckle. "One day, I want to open a charity for children in poor communities, give them access to quality education." Adana listens, fascinated. She's never met someone so selfless and grounded, especially in his position. Her admiration grows, and she finds herself thinking about him more often. Unknown to Adana, Emeka isn't the struggling village boy he appears to be. His full name is Emeka Ozoemena, and he's the heir to a billion-naira fortune. His late father, a renowned billionaire, left behind a will with strict instructions. To inherit the family fortune, Emeka must spend a year living a modest life to gain a true understanding of what it means to be ordinary. This is his father's way of ensuring that Emeka won't take wealth for granted. Only his family lawyer, Mr. Kalu, knows the truth. Emeka's disguise as a gateman is part of this arrangement, which he has maintained with great care. The year-long challenge is nearly complete, but he's starting to have second thoughts about revealing the truth now that he's met Adana. Emeka's feelings for Adana have grown unexpectedly strong. He's drawn to her kindness, intelligence, and warmth, and he begins to wonder if she'd still feel the same way about him if she knew his true identity. A part of him feels guilty for hiding such a big secret, but he also fears that revealing it too soon could ruin everything. To complicate things, he notices that Adana's spoiled younger sister, Ifeoma, keeps trying to make his life difficult. Her disrespectful behavior grates on him, but he reminds himself that his late father's mission was about learning humility. He doesn't retaliate, instead staying calm and focused on completing his year of humility and proving himself worthy of his father's legacy. Adana's feelings for Emeka have grown beyond curiosity. She's drawn to him in a way that surprises her. She admires his humility, selflessness, and calm resilience, qualities that stand in sharp contrast to the wealthy, flashy men she's used to meeting. Emeka, too, finds himself falling for her, though he's wary of revealing too much about his real identity. However, as his feelings deepen, Emeka wonders if Adana would still feel the same way if she knew about his fortune. Wanting to be sure her feelings are genuine, he decides to test her loyalty. He arranges for his close friend Kunle, a wealthy and charming businessman, to accidentally meet Adana. Emeka carefully instructs Kunle to act interested in Adana, hoping to see if she might waver for a man of higher status. Kunle, who knows Emeka's plan, is more than willing to play along. He's dashing, confident, and openly wealthy, with an easy charm that women find irresistible. When he and Adana meet, he impresses her with his humor and sophistication, quickly forming a friendship with her. Adana found herself both intrigued and flattered by Kunle's attention. His polished demeanor, intelligent conversation, and effortless charm were qualities she couldn't ignore. He spoke of world travels, luxurious ventures, and his vision for business, weaving tales that seemed to come from a different world altogether. At first, Adana enjoyed their conversations, finding his lifestyle fascinating and his confidence refreshing. But there was something missing. Each time Kunle shared stories of his success or cracked a witty joke, Adana found herself thinking of Emeka, his humble nature, the way he listened more than he spoke, and the kindness that radiated from his every action felt far more genuine than Kunle's showmanship. Even when Kunle's gestures were grand, offering her a ride in his sleek car or a dinner invitation to one of the most exclusive restaurants, Adana found herself wanting to retreat to the simplicity of a quiet conversation by the gatehouse. Despite her reservations, she tried to get to know Kunle better. His humor and charm made him pleasant company, but she felt no real pull toward him. She began to notice small things, the way he spoke about wealth as if it were the ultimate measure of success, or how his attention always seemed to drift back to himself. It wasn't unkind, but it lacked the depth she had come to appreciate in Emeka. Ifeoma's treatment of Emeka becomes increasingly disrespectful as she grows jealous of the attention Adana gives him. She notices her sister's frequent conversations with Emeka and begins to suspect that there's something more going on between them. Feeling insulted that her sister would even consider a lowly gateman, she decides to put Emeka in his place. One day, Ifeoma hosts a pool party with her friends. As Emeka walks past with supplies, Ifeoma snaps her fingers at him. "Emeka, get us more drinks," she orders, smiling slyly at her friends. Emeka replies calmly, "I'm just the gateman, miss. Perhaps you should ask the house staff." Ignoring him, Ifeoma continues to give him errands, belittling him in front of everyone. Her friends laugh, and Emeka remains silent, stoically doing the tasks to avoid unnecessary conflict. When Adana sees this, she is mortified by her sister's behavior and later warns her to stop, though Ifeoma merely brushes her off. Meanwhile, Kunle decides to take his test one step further. One evening, as they chatted over tea in the garden, Kunle turned the conversation toward her. "Adana," he began, leaning forward, "you're an extraordinary woman, intelligent, graceful, beautiful, but tell me, do you really think someone like Emeka can give you the life you deserve?" Adana froze for a moment, startled by the sudden shift. She quickly regained her composure and fixed him with a steady gaze. "Kunle," she said firmly, "Emeka has something far more valuable than money. He has a good heart. That's worth more to me than all the luxury in the world." Kunle raised his eyebrows, surprised by her directness. "I'm not saying he's a bad person," he said with a disarming smile. "But you're a woman of grace and privilege. Don't you think you deserve someone who can match that?" Adana shook her head, her voice steady. "What I deserve is someone who sees me for who I am, not for where I come from. Emeka does that, and I care for him deeply, whether or not he has anything to his name." Kunle leaned back, nodding slowly. "Fair enough," he said, a faint smile tugging at his lips, but inwardly he was impressed. That night, when he recounted the conversation to Emeka, he couldn't help but grin. "You've got yourself a rare gem, my friend. I tried my best, but her heart belongs to you." Emeka, who had been nervously waiting for Kunle's report, felt a wave of relief and joy. For weeks, he had wrestled with guilt over the test he had put Adana through. Now it was clear. Her feelings for him were pure and unshakable, rooted in who he was as a person, not his wealth or status. But the test hadn't been easy for him. Watching Adana with Kunle had been agonizing at times. He couldn't deny the pangs of jealousy that surfaced every time he saw her laugh at one of Kunle's jokes or sit with him over long conversations. There were moments when he had doubted himself, fearing that perhaps Kunli's charm and status might prove too tempting. Yet, every time he observed them together, he noticed something unmistakable. Adana would always bring the conversation back to him. "She talks about you all the time, Emeka," Kunle had said, laughing. "Even when I'm trying to show off, she keeps reminding me how wonderful you are." This revelation solidified Emeka's decision. He realized how much Adana meant to him and that it was time to put the testing behind them. Her loyalty had been proven beyond a doubt, and he knew he couldn't let his insecurities or his disguise stand in the way of their growing connection. Later that evening, Emeka stood alone by the gate, staring into the night sky. For the first time in months, he felt a weight lift from his shoulders. He smiled to himself, imagining the moment he would finally tell Adana the truth about who he was, not as a test, but as an act of trust and love. Finally, unable to hold back his feelings any longer, Emeka finds an opportunity to confess his love to Adana. In a quiet moment at the estate, he admits, "Adana, I've wanted to tell you for so long. I care deeply for you. I've tried to hide it, but I can't anymore. I love you." Adana's face lights up, and she tells him she loves him too. Overwhelmed with happiness, they agree to keep their relationship a secret for now, fearing the backlash from Ifeoma and possibly even her father. However, their private conversations and stolen moments together don't go unnoticed by Ifeoma. She grows increasingly suspicious of the time Adana spends near the gatehouse and decides to investigate. In her jealousy and arrogance, she can't bear the thought that her sister would fall in love with a gateman, a man she has treated with nothing but a disdain. Determined to break them apart, Ifeoma starts keeping an even closer eye on Emeka, planning to expose their relationship to their father. But Ifeoma has no idea that the gateman she's targeting is actually the heir to a massive fortune, or that he's capable of defending both himself and Adana if she tries to ruin things. Ifeoma's suspicions about Adana and Emeka's relationship reach a peak. She notices Adana sneaking out to talk with Emeka, and jealousy simmers within her. Feeling insulted that her sister would stoop to being involved with the gateman, she decides to dig deeper into Emeka's background. One day, she overhears Emeka on the phone with his lawyer, Mr. Kalu, discussing investment portfolios and financial reports. Confused and intrigued, Ifeoma listens carefully, but Emeka ends the call before she can learn more. Sensing there's something about Emeka that doesn't add up, she decides to confront him. Cornering Emeka after one of Adana's visits, she demands to know why he's spending so much time with her sister. "Do you think you're good enough for her? A man like you?" she sneers. Emeka calmly replies, "Respectfully, my relationship with Adana is none of your business, Ifeoma." This response only fuels her anger, and she decides it's time to expose their relationship, hoping their father will step in to end it. That week, Chief Okeke hosts a grand party to celebrate a major business success, inviting prominent members of the community and the family friends. The estate is transformed, and the evening promises elegance, with guests arriving in designer attire. Emeka, dressed in a fine suit, enters the event accompanied by Mr. Kalu. His appearance is stunning, and heads turn as he confidently strides into the room. Adana, not expecting him to be there, is speechless when she sees him. She approaches him, surprised by his transformation. "Emeka?" she whispers, eyes wide with surprise. "Actually, it's Emeka Ozowemena," he replies with a slight smile, finally revealing his true name and identity as the heir to a billion-naira fortune. The entire hall falls silent and whispers begin to circulate. Adana is overwhelmed, trying to process the truth. She realizes that Emeka, the man she's been falling in love with, is not a simple gateman, but one of the wealthiest heirs in the country. She feels a mixture of shock, betrayal, and awe as she pieces together the implications of his revelation. Ifeoma, humiliated and outraged by Emeka's true identity, decides to strike back. Furious that she treated a billionaire like a servant and now feels embarrassed in front of her friends, she directs her anger toward Adana. Ifeoma devises a plan to convince Emeka that Adana's love is unconditional and that she wouldn't have been interested if she'd known he was just a poor gateman. Approaching Emeka the next day, she confronts him privately, saying, "I hope you know Adana was just using you. She pitied you as a poor gateman. Do you really think she'd care for someone like that if she didn't expect something in return?" Emeka, calm and composed, listens but doesn't waver. "I've done all my checks and balances, Ifeoma," he replies. "I know Adana's true heart, and I don't believe anything you're saying. It's you who underestimated people, not her." Enraged by Emeka's refusal to doubt Adana, Ifeoma storms off, frustrated that her plan has failed. Emeka's unwavering belief in Adana strengthens his resolve to support her, knowing she has passed every test of loyalty he put in front of her. Meanwhile, Chidi, a longtime family friend with an unspoken love for Adana, seethed with jealousy as he observed her growing closeness to Emeka. The revelation that Emeka was not a humble gateman, but a billionaire heir, only fueled his bitterness. Chidi had always seen himself as the perfect match for Adana, someone who shared her privileged background and understood the responsibilities of wealth. To him, Emeka was an imposter who didn't deserve her love. Desperate to win Adana's affection, Chidi sought an unlikely ally, Ifeoma, Adana's younger sister. Still nursing her own resentment over Emeka's rejection of her accusations against Adana, Ifeoma agreed to Chidi's scheme. Together, they crafted a plan to tarnish Adana's reputation and break her relationship with Emeka. They spread insidious rumors among mutual friends and social circles, painting Adana as manipulative and opportunistic. She only started noticing Emeka because she suspected he was wealthy, Chidi told anyone who would listen. Ifeoma added fuel to the fire, claiming, "Adana always said she could never date someone like a gateman. Why the sudden change? It's obvious she found out about his money." As the rumors spread, Emeka began to hear whispers. Though he initially dismissed them, confident in Adana's sincerity, the sheer volume of the accusations began to weigh on him. Even people he respected subtly questioned him. "Are you sure about her intentions?" they would ask, planting seeds of doubt. When Adana learned of the rumors, she was furious and heartbroken. She immediately confronted Chidi in his office, her voice trembling with anger. "How dare you spread lies about me, Chidi?" she demanded, her eyes blazing. "I trusted you as a friend, and this is how you repay me?" Chidi, startled by her directness, attempted to feign innocence. "I'm only trying to protect you, Adana," he said smoothly. "Don't you see? Emeka is manipulating you. He's not who you think he is." Adana's expression hardened. "The only person manipulating anyone here is you, Chidi. You're jealous, and you think spreading lies will make me choose you. But let me make this clear. I will never be with someone as petty and deceitful as you." Chidi's facade cracked for a moment, and his jealousy spilled out. "Do you really think Emeka loves you?" he spat. "You're just a conquest to him. You'll see. When his money matters more than you, don't say I didn't warn you." Adana, her heart pounding with rage, stepped closer to him. "You're wrong, Chidi. Emeka's love is real, and no amount of lies will change that. Stay out of my life." She stormed out, leaving Chidi fuming. Despite Adana's reassurances, the rumors continued to gnaw at Emeka. He began to notice subtle changes in how people treated him, their polite smiles masking judgment. Even some of the household staff seemed to act differently around Adana, whispering behind her back. For the first time, Emeka felt uncertain. Could there be a kernel of truth to the rumors? Was Adana drawn to him because of his wealth? One evening, Emeka sat alone in the gatehouse, staring at the photograph of his late father on the wall. "What would you do, father?" he whispered. The weight of the rumors pressed heavily on his chest. He loved Adana deeply, but doubt had crept into his heart. Just then, his lawyer, Mr. Kalu, called. "Emeka, I've been doing some digging as you asked," Kalu said. "I believe you need to know who's behind these rumors." "What did you find?" Emeka asked, his voice tight with tension. "It's Chidi and Ifeoma," Kalu revealed. "They've been spreading these lies for weeks, targeting Adana's character to drive a wedge between you two." Emeka felt a rush of conflicting emotions, relief that Adana was innocent, anger at Ifeoma and Chidi, and guilt for ever doubting the woman he loved. "Thank you, Kalu," he said quietly. "I know what I need to do." That night, Emeka invited Adana to the garden for a walk. As they strolled under the stars, he turned to her, his expression serious. "Adana, I need to tell you something." "What is it?" she asked, sensing the gravity in his tone. "I've heard the rumors," he admitted. "For a moment, I let them get to me. I doubted you, even though I knew in my heart that you've always been honest with me." Adana stopped walking, her eyes searching his face. "Emeka, I would never." "I know," he interrupted gently. "I know that now. Kalu found out that Chidi and Ifeoma were behind everything. They wanted to tear us apart, but they failed." Adana felt a surge of emotions, relief, anger, and sadness all at once. "I confronted Chidi earlier," she said. "He tried to convince me that you didn't love me. He's so blinded by his jealousy." Emeka took her hands in his eyes filled with both love and remorse. "I'm sorry, Adana. I should have trusted you completely. You've proven your love for me time and again, and I let their lies shake me. It won't happen again." Adana squeezed his hands, her voice steady. "We've both been tested, Emeka. But I know what we have is real, and I won't let anyone take that from us." In that moment, Emeka felt his doubts melt away. He realized that Adana's love was his anchor, and he vowed never to let external forces cloud their bond again. Determined to clear Adana's name and put an end to the rumors, Emeka arranged a private meeting with Chief Okeke and Mr. Kalu. In the meeting, Emeka revealed the evidence of Ifeoma and Chidi's involvement, including accounts from people who had heard their lies firsthand. Chief Okeke, furious at the betrayal, agreed to help Emeka expose the truth publicly. "Adana's reputation must be restored," he said firmly, "and these two need to face the consequences of their actions." Together, they planned a family gathering where the truth would be revealed, setting the stage for a dramatic reckoning. At the family gathering, Emeka publicly addresses the guests and shares his story, revealing his journey of humility as part of his father's will. He speaks about the importance of understanding people's character beyond wealth and titles, and how he discovered true love in Adana, who cared for him without knowing his fortune. Then he shares the details of Chidi and Ifeoma's betrayal, revealing how they tried to ruin Adana's reputation out of jealousy and pride. Shocked, Chief Okeke publicly reprimands both Chidi and Ifeoma, who are humiliated in front of family and friends. Chidi, embarrassed and angry, leaves in disgrace, and Ifeoma is left to deal with the shame of her actions. Adana, overwhelmed but relieved, embraces Emeka, grateful for his loyalty and trust in her, Chief Okeke finally accepts Emeka as a worthy partner for his daughter, realizing the depth of Emeka's character and his genuine love for Adana. Emeka's humility and integrity impress Chief Okeke, and he gives his blessing to their relationship. With the truth out in the open, Adana and Emeka's relationship blossoms without the burden of secrecy. Adana feels a renewed sense of trust and gratitude toward Emeka, knowing he tested her loyalty not out of mistrust, but to protect his heart from those who might be drawn to his wealth. Their bond deepens as they spend time together without hiding, making plans for the future. Chief Okeke, impressed by Emeka's commitment to both his father's legacy and Adana, invites Emeka to spend more time with the family, acknowledging him as more than just a guest. He is now family. Emeka's humility and sincerity have left a lasting impression on Chief Okeke, who grows increasingly proud of his daughter's choice. Meanwhile, Ifeoma remains isolated and humiliated by her actions. Though Adana and Emeka have moved past the incident, Ifeoma struggles with the shame of her behavior. She sees Emeka's genuine kindness and Adana's happiness, and slowly regret begins to creep in. With time, she realizes the consequences of her selfishness and how deeply it hurts her family. One evening, Emeka takes Adana on a quiet outing, away from the estate and the city's bustling life. They visit a local children's charity where Emeka has been anonymously donating, and he shares his dreams of expanding this charity to help more communities across Nigeria. Moved by his dedication to helping others, Adana realizes the depth of Emeka's commitment to his father's values. Emeka kneels down and proposes to Adana in front of the children, promising to love and cherish her only and to build a life together dedicated to helping those less fortunate. Adana, deeply touched, happily accepts his proposal. She understands that she's found a partner whose values align with hers and who inspires her to be better. They share a heartfelt moment with the children cheering around them, sealing their love with a promise of shared purpose and compassion. While Adana and Emeka's love is celebrated, Ifeoma remains haunted by her actions. She feels guilty and alienated, having jeopardized her family relationships over jealousy and pride. Her friends, who used to encourage her behavior, have distanced themselves after witnessing her disgrace. One afternoon, Ifeoma approaches Adana with a heavy heart. She apologizes sincerely, admitting that her actions were wrong and that she was driven by jealousy. She explains how seeing Adana find happiness with Emeka made her realize she had been selfish and shallow. Adana, moved by her sister's vulnerability, forgives her, expressing hope that they can rebuild their relationship. Emeka, too, forgives Ifeoma, believing in second chances and understanding that she has learned from her mistakes. This act of forgiveness helps Ifeoma start to grow, and she begins to focus on becoming a better person, finally letting go of her pride. The day of Adana and Emeka's wedding arrives, bringing joy and celebration to the entire family. The ceremony is held at a beautiful venue overlooking the ocean, with family, friends, and community members in attendance. Emeka's family, previously unknown to many, makes a grand appearance, and the event is filled with both elegance and love. As Adana walks down the aisle, she feels overwhelmed with happiness. She is about to marry a man who, despite his wealth, values love, integrity, and compassion above all else. Emeka, seeing her in her bridal attire, is equally moved. Grateful to have found someone who loves him for who he truly is. Their vows are heartfelt, promising to support each other in both wealth and hardship, to use their blessings to uplift others, and to always stand by each other's side. The guests applaud and cheer, and Chief Okiki, visibly emotional, expresses his pride in his daughter and her new husband. The reception is a joyous affair, with music, dancing, and laughter. Ifeoma, who has started to make amends, helps coordinate the event, showing her genuine support for the couple. She even delivers a heartfelt speech, apologizing publicly for her past actions and congratulating her sister on finding true love. With their marriage sealed, Emeka and Adana embark on a life filled with purpose and passion. They travel across Nigeria, visiting communities and launching charitable initiatives focused on education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. Emeka establishes a foundation in his father's memory dedicated to supporting underprivileged communities and creating opportunities for those in need. Adana, inspired by Emeka's mission, becomes actively involved in the foundation, helping design programs that empower women and children. Together, they use their influence to bring about meaningful change, making a difference in the lives of countless people. Their love story, born from humility, trust, and resilience, becomes a tale known throughout the community and beyond, inspiring others to look beyond status and wealth to find genuine connections. Ifeoma, now more self-aware and compassionate, works alongside them, helping with charity events and finding purpose in the work. Their life together, though marked by early trials, becomes a testament to love that transcends social boundaries and to the power of kindness and integrity. Emeka and Adana live out their days with joy and fulfillment, forever grateful for the journey that brought them together. Thank you, my wonderful listeners, for joining me on this unforgettable journey. Adana and Emeka's story reminds us that love can break down any barrier, be it status, wealth, or family expectations. Sometimes the people who seem the simplest have the most remarkable stories, and true love is built on trust, loyalty, and compassion. I hope their journey inspired you as much as it inspired me. Until next time, remember, never judge a book by its cover and always keep your heart open for the unexpected. See you soon for our next tale.